Welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. Today's last poem of the year, and it's one of my favorites. I mean, all of them are favorites, but today's poem is special because it's Chinese worldview of how to view the world. 横看成岭侧成峰. If you look at the mountains from the front view, or full frontal view when you see the mountain ranges. Then if you see it from the side, you're going to see peaks. Talks about different viewpoints, right? And then gives you even more varieties of vantage points. 远近高低各不同. So look from afar, look near, look from high ground, low ground. You're going to get different views. So we have the talk about 盲人摸象 a while back. About how touching elephants by the blind people, that everybody are going to have a tiny piece of detail from a perspective. In that sense, everybody hold partial truth, right? Nobody have a full view of the elephant. So that's one way. But really, the world to us, the reality probably are way more grander and lots of subtleties and details. It's way bigger than elephant. So in this poem, actually, we are comparing to the reality of the world or the truth as mountains. How grand is that? And we, tiny human being, in front of the world, the mountains, as our observation object, that you're going to have different views by positioning yourself at different vantage point. And eventually, I realized that's why in English people often say, I see where it come from. That's almost like pointing out their vantage point, where people's viewpoint come from based on where they stand, right? Then you're going to have different views. So this poem talks about how we view things. This vantage point that determines the views. So that's, so to speak, viewpoints. Okay. 横, horizontal. It's made of the left side, the wood, the right side, yellow. And yellow wood, it turned out in ancient times, is this big horizontal block of wood that's underneath at the bottom of a door. So compared with contemporary living, we don't have blocks over there. It's a tripping hazard. And the ancient Chinese household, the front household, you see this big, you have to step over this big block of wood before you can enter any household. And the reason why of that, I guess, is two things. One is to block out anything that's raw on the ground, right? To get rid of the bugs over there. Or snakes. I'm actually not sure if snake can crawl over the vertically, but the big block of wood definitely can block out something. Probably ancient times, it's more nature and human are better blended than today, so it was a necessity. Second is probably came from the belief of ghosts that going to float in the air and they cannot move beyond a block, something like that. And this wood block underneath doorstep, so to speak, right? Underneath that, underneath the doors, serves as the first thing you have to step over to enter. And yellow wood, probably because ancient times, the color commonly used for that function of wood is yellow color. And eventually this doorstep extended into anything that's horizontal. And wood is made of canopy, root, trunk of the tree. And yellow is made of 20. So this cross thing is 10. Connected at the bottom is 20. And then we have the fire symbol, a cone, 2 sparkles. And then we have farm field, which is a box, quarter. So that's our farm field meaning it was allotted to different households. So it's cut into smaller pieces of land. If it's without a cutting, that's like borderline of a whole regime. Okay, so 20 fires over the field means lots of fire color covering the farm field in the harvesting season. And that's the color of yellow that we commonly see out there. And we use that to mean it's a yellow color. Yellow wood is that big piece of horizontal block under the doors. And that's 横. Cut. We have eyeball, verticalized symbol, and then we have five-finger hand symbol. And this tipping is a differentiator because if it tipped toward the left, it's the hair symbol. So now we have a hand symbol. Hand next to the eyeball, exactly like looking things like that. You're trying to block out the sun before you can see something. So try to see something clearly to protect your vision, I guess, create a shade. So that's Chinese "see." 成, we have two weaponry. This is kind of spear, and this sharp edges thing originally came from kind of an axe looking thing tied to a staff, and eventually it got separated out like that and become two pieces. But in any case, these are ancient weapons connected together with, I'm not exactly sure what the horizontal, vertical line over there, it probably serves as a stand for this weaponry. And I translate it as ads, but actually it means succeed, make things happen. And Chinese probably have this belief that to make things happen, you need to have the right tools, the right gears. And these two weaponries serve as the examples of, I mean, to successfully defend or offend, have wars, you need to have the right weapons. I guess weapons to wars is probably extreme use case, but it illustrates how critical you need to have the right tools to succeed. Okay, 岭 and 峰, either ridge or peak, is describing a particular view of the mountains, right? Ridge is a series of mountains, and both of them start with the mountain icon on top of the character. And Chinese abstract the mountains as a range of mountains. So actually, probably this ridge is closer. So it's a mountain range made of this triangle-looking thing and three peaks. And of course, when we say three, it's not an absolute number. It's multitudes of peaks. That's mountain range. And when it pairs with 岭, that means the neck or neckline of the mountain. Chinese use that neckline of the mountain as a ridge because the ridge probably is the view of the very tip, the top, or the outline of the mountain. When we see a mountain range, the profile view of the mountain, that's the ridge, the highest point visible, right? Not on the side, but on the ridge. And the neckline compared here. And the neckline is expressed by the head, which is human figure. It's sitting on the hill. So both of these characters are sitting on the hill, humans. And then we have the head symbol, big head symbol, zoom in view of the head, which is made of the nose bridge, the two verticalized nostril, that's the center of the head, right? Center, and then we draw a line of the circumference of the head. So we use the center and circumference, just like drawing a circle, to depict the whole head. So we have the head, and then we have the order. So following the order. Following the order is made of this, some person's view sitting on the hill. So this is your heel, verticalized, I guess. This is your soul, kind of vertical. And this is the butt sitting on the hill. That apparently occur a lot in the Chinese characters that ancient times before the invention of furniture, and even after the invention of table and chair, people sitting on their heels. It's no trouble back then. And then this triangle shape means gathering, means a social hierarchy. And in that social hierarchy, some people sitting on their heels means they are submissive. when a person sitting on hills, it's hard to fight, right? So that means it gave up their fighting rights, so to speak. So they are in submission. And the whole left part, gathering or hierarchy, with submission means giving orders. And giving orders to the head. That's inferred as the neck, because the neck is the controller of the head, right? Okay, so we have the neck or the neckline of the mountain and that made the ridge concept. Now the peak also have the mountain, and then we have backward walking. This is ancient footwear, okay, before Nike, okay. Ancient footwear is made of this looking thing. So I guess it's kind of two deck. Your foot touch the top deck, and then there is a separator between the foot and the ground, right? The bottom touch the ground, and then it combined together. One tiny detail of cultural difference. In English culture, the coordinate system, right? Cartesian system, we have the x-axis, y-axis, right? And just by default, pointing toward the right. That's the arrow pointing. So for in English, at least in English, and I guess standardized in mathematical logic, rightward pointing is forward walking. Forward pointing, numbers get bigger when it goes right. Ancient Chinese is the opposite direction. That's also why Chinese read books ancient times is top down and right to left, because progression in ancient Chinese concept is leftward force facing. And so this ancient shoe, this is, okay, the footwear, ancient times, this side is the toe side, and this is the heel side. And then we have this big, long, extended line pointing to the bottom right corner. That whole imagery is created to mean backward walking. So you have the shoe facing, supposedly forward facing, which is pointing toward the left, but then you have this pointer going this way. That means you're actually going backwards, still facing that direction, but you're going backwards. Okay. And then here is kind of like a tree, but growing pretty tall, because there's 3 stacks of them, means vibrantly growing some plantation thing. So this vibrant, I guess we can imagine it as like a bush, a wall of plantation. And then you go backwards because you're facing a peak, the mountain covered with vibrant plantation on them. And then you cannot, it goes so steep, vertical, that you cannot just walk up there casually. I mean, I guess ancient times, mountain climbing was probably a recent thing because it requires gears, right? To prevent you from falling to death. The free solo documentary guy probably is, after years of training and build on generations of climbers to develop that kind of stamina and technique without roping. But I guess in ancient times, for a lay person, even today, I cannot go vertical like that, right? So that's logical that this backward walking in front of a vibrantly covered plantation of mountain refer to the peak. Okay, so now we have the front view. If you look at the whole range of this mountain, from the horizontal view, it looks like a ridge. But if you look from the side view, it looks like a peak. It's narrow, sharp, upward rising that you have to walk backwards, meaning you cannot go up. It's too steep. Okay, it's cool. Here is a human figure. We have, this is the front facing, this is the backward facing. So this is default human, leftward facing human figure. And then we have this seashell. It looks like an eyeball, right? It looks almost like an eyeball, but except it has just 2 dangly legs. Okay, that's the soft body animal lived in the seashell before. So together, this almost like an eyeball looking thing with 2 legs below, it means seashell, because there is this convergence of imagery. that we have verticalized eyeball, but we also have seashell that has stripes on the shell itself. Okay, so this is ancient currency. And then we have the knife symbol on here. This is the handle of the knife and the two edges of the knife. So eyeball, no, seashell plus the knife means following the route. So I'm guessing this currency symbol means market force. Okay. The knife probably symbolizing military force. Two forces, kind of societal level, to put constraints on what humans can do. And eventually the whole concept becomes side. That means besides our bio, okay, human, this body, this cultural being, besides that, there are constraints societal wise forced on you. And that's the side. That's the side concept. It means we have to consider almost like the context. We're in that network of things, not an individual, just a bio being, but a whole societal being with all that market forces or military forces. Military means not just between tribes, right? But within the tribes, you cannot not follow authority. So this become the side, means something beyond you. Is on the side of you, all around you. Okay, 横看成岭侧成峰 gives you two views. Next page, 远近高低各不同 gives you four more possible views viewing the same object, which is the mountain range. We have the ridge view, we have the peak view. And now, four more views are look from afar, look near, look from high, look from low. So four relative positions of you relative to the mountain range. And then you are going to 各不同 means you're going to get each individual views. They are not the same. Okay. Far is made of this walking symbol, which is made of the foot symbol and footsteps. Okay. Foot symbol is made of the right foot in particular because this is a big toe. This is a pinky toe. And the middle is the rest of the three toes there. This almost like a cactus looking thing is a Chinese weird way to abstract a foot, the anatomy of the foot. And then this is the right foot because that's the big toe, right? And then here, the top is actually the footstep from the left foot because we have a character that's both left and right, three strokes over there to show your progression through space, your footsteps left and right. But eventually when we combine it into a character, the right side of footstep is taken out. Only the left footstep staying there on top of the right foot. Go figure. I don't know why there's such a pairing, but as soon as I know what exactly that is, it becomes like puzzling, like why we have left footsteps with right foot there. Okay, but together it means walking. By the foot symbol itself, it means standing still. By adding three strokes of showing the progression through space, we guaranteed it is a walking. Okay, and then the right side is the clothing gear, suitable for long distance walking. This clothing gear, okay, it's made of two clothing first. It's made of the front neckline, that wrap neckline looks like this. This is a typical ancient Chinese, currently we have the most common t-shirt neckline, kind of look like this, right? And this is what I'm wearing is called a scoop neckline. So it's kind of like a hole here for your neck to get through. But in ancient times, clothing construction mostly is fabric wrap around your body and kind of fold in front of that. My gear, my looking ancient probably is inappropriate. Okay, in any case, that's ancient neckline. And here, this little triangle looking thing is the dot on the back of the neckline. So it's the front neckline plus the back neckline together. It means clothing. We just show the neckline, just like the mountain range. We use the outline of the mountain to mean the ridge. And clothing, we use the neckline of the clothing to mean the whole clothing. We use partial, most distinctive feature of that thing to refer to the whole thing. Okay, this oval shape and this trident looking thing came from an abstraction of this. This is ancient spinning machine. And I would imagine, okay, this oval shape is a distorted circle. It's a wheel, spinning wheel. And then this horizontal vertical thing, just the spokes in that wheel. So it symbolizes the wheel because spinners, if you've ever seen one, it's a wheel, right? It's turning. And then on one side, this trident looking thing could either be a gear of that spinning wheel, something ancient that I haven't seen. So I couldn't tell, but my other interpretation is we have this trident looking thing that symbolizes plant. So if we look at that as a plant, it's on the one side of the spinning wheel is plant because all the ancient fabrics are organic. Okay, it's made of nature's fibers, either cotton or linen, actually linen or flax. Okay, it's more common in ancient Chinese, or silk, right? On the one side is nature fiber. On the other side is the thread that's already spun together and have, the spool of thread in there. So the whole conversion, the two and the beginning and the converted input and output and this tool, the whole thing expressed by the three parts of this connected imagery. So that's ancient spinning tool. When it fits into this frame, then it got simplified. The wheel left out, and then we're left with this finished product of this bond thread, okay, and this origin of the plant-based. Okay, together it means spun thread. And I would imagine probably in ancient fabric making, there are different technologies, and this is make sure the spun thread is sturdier. It's a longer strand of fiber, so you can kind of reinforce the fabric so that it's going to be sturdier to carry you through far traveling activity. So that's ancient gear. Okay, in comparison, this walking, if it paired with axe, this is an axe symbol, symbolized by the action of the axe, which is a wood log chopped off a piece from it. So we show the result of the axe work instead of show the tool, how it looks, we show the works of the tool. Okay, this axe paired with walking then means near. And when I view the two things together, I start to come up with theories of, okay, if this is spun long strand of fiber means reinforce the thread, is sturdier, then this axe probably represent another way of fabric making that's kind of chop up. It's a shorter fiber, so it's not as sturdy, can endure long distance travel. Probably it's easier to make a hole on that type of fabric. That's theory one. Okay, theory two. This walking, and show the result or the action of the axe means you walk within the earshot of axing sound. So as soon as you can hear something, that's how close it is. That's my other interpretation, earlier interpretation, but I like the second one. It's type of fabric or the gear for you to equip you to travel far or near. Okay, high and low. High is simply two-story building. We have the roof, chimney, two windows have the 2 stories, and then we have this big arch thing, means the first floor. And just like the concept of big and small, even if we would speak about them in absolute terms, they mean relative. And this high and low is relative to you, humans. We are the yardstick of measuring our world, right? So high means higher than human. This 2-story building guaranteed is higher than human because 1 story would be the height of a human, right? 2-story guaranteed is double the height of a human at least. Okay, so that's high. Low, okay, how it compared to human as low. Okay, the left side is again, human figure, leftward facing human figure. And then we have this pretty hard to see eyeball. That's the eyeball that's somebody is looking toward the ground. And it's truly like a verticalized eyeball. And then pointing downward to the ground. So that's somebody ancient times, probably more in the servant or slavery, even people who are below you in social status. And that's guaranteed low. I don't know, probably ancient times, people who are below you in social status also appear lower than you as well. Okay, so high and low. 4 more vantage points. And then we render each not the same. Each. We have the mouse symbol means giving orders. And then we have the walking backwards symbol, just like here, the same symbol, right? Combined with this time speaking or giving orders. Giving orders, backward walking, means that person, whoever walked there, is not following the orders. It's backtracking. So that means they have their own individual thoughts, individual directions and interests. They're not following whatever this mouse is speaking. So that gives the sense of each. It's separate ways. It's not under the same thinking or direction. Okay. 不, this negation. Okay, the first version I came up with is this bird going upward sky and refusing to come down. The bird is saying no to Earth. Okay, but that's a little bit, I don't buy that now because I've seen different bird symbols. Nothing looks like this. The bird, even like the flying symbol, doesn't look like this. So it's less likely that this is a bird. And the top horizontal line is sky. I agree, because most top frame horizontal line means sky. So how do we express negation? My current standing theory is the sky, and then we have this arch connected with one vertical line pointing down. That's almost like a needle downward pointing. That's sky pointing downward, meaning nature or the out external conditions forcing down. And then this arch going upward is going against that force. So it's almost like nature or life or luck or destiny try to do something to you, and then you are saying no to that and resisting that force. Instead of accepting it, you're standing up tall against that force external to you. Okay, so that's no. 同, we have big arch, just like this big arch. It gives you the sense of space, kind of an enclosed space. And then this horizontal line, because it's not top frame anymore, so it's probably not the sky. And everything is supposed to be below the sky, right? So if it's within this arch, it's probably not the sky. And that in Chinese, one horizontal line means one. And then we have this mouse symbol again, reused, paired with other symbols to make another meaning. Basically, 3 things in this frame interpreted as one voice within the space. That's how Chinese define saying. We actually use opinion or thoughts, spoken out thoughts to differentiate, are they the same or different? Okay, so the whole poem basically could give you 6 different vantage points. You have 横, horizontally looking at something, and 侧, from the side looking at something. 远近高低, far, near, high, low, ground, looking at the mountain range. You're going to see ridge or peak. And 远近高低, you can plug in your own imagery of the mountains if you look at them from different vantage points. And here set the context of if you go in hiking and then the mountain range is going to look totally different from different vantage points. And I'll meet you tomorrow to go to the moral of the story to see what was the points. All right. Thank you for your time. See you another